Hello, I'm Juliette Sarli. In this week's edition of IG Macro Intelligence, we take a deep dive into the Australian agricultural sector and stocks to watch. The upcoming winter crop season could be Australia's best on record thanks to strong soil moisture in northern New South Wales and Queensland and solid profit margins across most crop types. Rabobank's winter crop outlook suggests Aussie farmers are on track to plant a record 24.5 million hectares of winter crops in 2025-26, up almost 1% year on year and more than 2% above the 5-year average. Planting is expected to rise in every state except South Australia, where drought is limiting expansion. Western Australia is also facing dry conditions, though a slight increase in cropping area is still expected there. The projected increase is set to benefit most crops. However, Rabobank expects a modest decline in grain volumes. Meanwhile, the broader outlook for the agricultural sector has been clouded by US tariffs. Rabobank senior analyst Vitor Pistoia suggesting Australian growers, though, can weather the tariff storm by exporting to other countries, particularly in Asia, saying that despite the US's tariffs efforts to reorder global trade, Australia's key grain and oilseed exports seem largely unscathed for now and may in fact gain global market share. GrainCorp recently beat the street with its first half update, announcing a special dividend and increasing its share buyback. UBS increased its price target on the stock following the result to $8.60, up from $8.50. And it also maintained its buy recommendation, suggesting GrainCorp has resilience amidst the trade war backdrop, which the brokerage thinks could help increase its full year 26 earnings per share by 11%. CEO Robert Spurway telling AusBiz the company is well positioned to manage any trade war challenges.
People always need to eat, so the fundamentals of supply and demand really drive the trade flows and the volume of food exported around the world. Of course, volatility and uncertainty in a tariff environment can be concerning because it does impact economies and can create recessionary drivers and environment. But again, food is very resilient in that environment. What I'd say is that GrainCorp and the ag sector generally has decades of experience managing tariffs and non-tariff barriers and overcoming those and finding other markets through diversification, well before it was in the headlines every day. So we've been doing a good job in that respect.
Rival Elders reports first half earnings on the 26th of May. Now, its 20% share price drop over the past 12 months is roughly double the loss GrainCorp shareholders have experienced. ASX TradeWatch technical data shows shares in a weak pattern with little demand from investors. The 200-day moving average is sloping downwards. But the average broker is upbeat on the stock. Refinitiv data showing a median price target of $8.65, suggesting Elders can rally another 33% from current levels. When it comes to Australian agricultural companies, shares have risen around 2.5% over the past 12 months, around half the near 5% gain on the ASX 200 Consumer Staples Index over that time period. Still, some analysts suggest caution when it comes to investing in the agricultural space.
The trouble with agriculture companies is no matter how brilliant the management is, you're really totally dependent on the weather and on international commodity prices, which are partly dictated by the weather. So, from an investor point of view, how do you really invest in these companies? You can't. You can perhaps trade in them, but you really can't invest because if you say to yourself, can I be confident earnings per share will be higher in 5 years' time? You have absolutely no idea whether they will or won't.
But GrainCorp CEO Robert Spurway is confident of harvesting further gains.
Advocate for free and fair trade and open access, but even notwithstanding that, in the volatile environment we find at the moment, GrainCorp's in a very resilient sector and well placed to manage the challenges.
And that is your IG Macro Intelligence for this week. We'll see you next week.